Ted Rubin, Ted Rubin on Twitter, Ted Rubin on just about every social platform out there. My mantra, what I live by, is something called return on relationship. I live in the New York City area. I travel extensively. I got involved in the digital age back in 1997 when I joined Seth Godin at his startup Yoyodyne, and was there when Seth coined the term permission marketing. And it was a revelation for me, and it's really where return on relationship got started. And it was really where I got started in the digital world. And it was the beginning of a long journey. We got acquired by Yahoo. I worked there for a little while, went on to 800 Flowers, moved through the whole Web 1.0 scene, and then ended up after that in 2008, just as social was starting to scale, at a company called Elf Cosmetics, which is where I really got my feet wet with social, learned what it was all about, helped build a brand with no marketing budget, utilizing primarily social and working with other types of partners. And it's been an exciting world ever since. I moved on from there. I was in the social commerce space with OpenSky, the content space with Collective Bias. And now I help brands engage with their consumers, build employee advocacy, and I speak around the country and the world. So one of the things I like to say is stop worrying about what's next and execute on what's now. And I see too many people looking too far out to the future. That doesn't mean don't have an eye open to it. Now, if you watch me, I am rarely the first guy on new platforms. I am really the guy to jump into things right when they start. And it's not just because I'm waiting to see if they take hold. It's also because I'm very busy executing in the places I'm at. I'm very present. So in an answer to kind of what you're saying is, how do I do this? Well, for me, it's about being in the moment. It's about being present. I can't be everywhere all the time, but I do pride myself on being responsive. It's not just something I take pride in, it's who I am as a person. I need to get back to people. So social was built for me. Because to me, the best way to leverage social is to engage people, to interact, to build relationships, to have conversations. And the only way to do that is to be available for people. If you're just broadcasting, then you're just not using these platforms to their best advantage. I'm not saying you can't broadcast. You have a few million Twitter followers, there's lots of people that are going to see things. Same thing with Facebook and other things. But the point is that unlike other broadcast mediums, which are probably more effective just as broadcast, the beauty of social is you get to engage, interact, get to know people. And a lot of people don't think it scales. I believe it does. Because one of the things I do to stay strong is that I interact and engage with the people that want to interact and engage with me, like yourself. So Bill reached out, you said, I'd love to have you on the show, we're talking, and now thousands of people that you show this to are going to see this. But not only here, just in the tweets we had or the interactions we have online, I call it vicariously participating. And to me, 98% of the people out there who are on social are vicariously participating by watching other people have conversations and then feeling a part of it. Another big part of who I am and what keeps me going is this whole concept of be good to people. So this is a woman named Chris Wittenberg who started this whole thing. I wear her T-shirts. I love her concept. I have her stickers on my laptop, on my iPad. I believe in the whole thing. We met each other because I started using a hashtag Just Be Nice, and I preach this to companies that if you're nice to people, if your employees are nice to people, if they treat each other well, if they treat your vendors well, it makes a very big difference in how you do business. Now, here I am. I'm a dad. A lot of people know this, some don't. I had to fight to keep my daughters in my life. It was a 4-year battle. It cost me everything I had. I had to rebuild after that. And when it ended, I had lost a lot of years of my daughters' lives, and I was angry. And I just woke up one morning and I said, I don't want to be angry anymore. I was thinking of starting, interaction and engagement sites before. This is before some of these things have really taken hold about complaining and talking about your problems. And I said, you know what? That's not the way I want to be. I want to be happy. And I want to, children automatically go to happy. They opt for happy. Most adults, not only most, the vast majority of adults, we go for angry, upset, stressed, all these other things. And I just made a decision to change my attitude, my perspective, and therefore my mindset. And realize that, the quote that's on my Twitter handle and all over all my social presences is that life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. And it's the way I approach everything. So I do my best each and every day to live by that quote and to try to do good for other people, good for myself. I say do for others without expectation of anything directly in return. And I think that's at the heart of return on relationship, because in the end, all of that will come back to you one way or another, whether it's people that see that you're doing good for others or just the way you feel good about it. And Now, look, I'm a New Yorker. When you bump into me on the street, my initial reaction is to get annoyed, but I don't. I take a breath now, I smile, and people will come, like walk with an iPhone, they'll bump into me, and they look up expecting me to get angry, and I smile at them and I say, have a nice day. They don't know where to go with it. So, that's also another thing which is how I stay strong. The way I see the world going, the smarter companies are starting to tell their employees, build your personal brand. Make yourself better. Because the better you are, the better we are as a company. I mean, just think about it. If you have 1,000 employees and every one of them has 100 followers on social channels, or if you have 1,000 employees and every one of them has 10,000 followers on social channels, or even more reasonably 2,000. If those people like where they're working, and most people want to brag about where they work, they want to share. Think about the reach you're getting. So, I like to say that a network gives you reach, but a community gives you power. And if you build your employees into a community versus a network, the power you're going to build from that company is astronomical. And companies are starting to see that today. And look, they're not all going to do it. And some of us are going to have jobs where we've just got to go in and function and do what we're told and follow the boss's orders. And that's fine. But you always have time around that, with that, to mold and do other things for yourself. This is the age of influence, where anybody can build a brand, affect change, make a difference 24/7 without a budget to do it. You don't even have to have a budget to go to networking meetings. You can do it online all night. So if you're working on one of those jobs, find time when you get out of work. And if you, let's just say you work on one of those jobs and you have 4 kids at home and you've got a house to take care of, fine. Find it on the commute home. Find it on the commute back. Find it after everybody goes to sleep. I mean, there are mom bloggers all over the country, all over the world, do most of their business after their whole family's sleeping. Well, I don't believe there's a line anymore between work and business, where we used to say, well, that's your work life and that's your home life. But now people want to know who you are as a human being, whether you're a low-level employee, a mid-level employee, or the CEO of the company. They want to know something about you. So I think empathy is important, to start understanding your employees better. I think that you have to start leading as a mentor and as a coach versus a boss. I think the boss mentality has to find its way out of the heart of what's happening. That doesn't mean you don't have to be a boss sometimes. Of course you do. Just like as a parent, you want to include your kids in doing things, but you also sometimes have to be a parent and say this is the way it's going to be done. And there are times of crisis. There are times when things have to be accomplished. You have to be that way. But all in all, I think bosses, I think CEOs have to learn to be coaches. I think they have to learn to be mentors. I think they have to learn how to get down in the trenches with their employees.